Started the stronger of the two teams, kicking their way into an attacking position within the first couple of minutes. And as this maul became unplayable, mirroring the 99 call, the 74 tour, Alan Wynne-Jones runs in here and starts this for no reason whatsoever. I think it was the Lions trying to assert physical dominance early, considering last week it took them 40 minutes to get into the game physically. Here they lay down a marker to start early. From the resulting scrum, the Lions give away a free kick for engaging early, which does suggest they were trying to put physical pressure on the Springboks early. As does this defensive set. They are putting in a lot of big tackles here and really trying to start the game a lot stronger than they did last week. Now the Springboks, as they always do, make their way across the pitch in reasonably short passes off 9. And then when they come back, they've created a bit of space and will try and either play or kick into that space. But here they're attacking and they try and utilise it. But here Willie Liverloop cuts in from the side, which just means they go back for a penalty, which Andre Pollard converts. Plenty of Lions lineouts went astray throughout the game, and they managed to retain this one despite the ball being dropped and it being a bit scrappy. Throughout this phase of a few carries here, too many of the Lions forwards are going from ruck to ruck, and we've got 6 forwards all within that one ruck there. And the Lions throughout the first half tried to assert aerial dominance, and for the majority of the half managed to maintain it. From this attacking scrum platform, the Lions decide to continue to adopt a no-thrills style of attack, setting up their first ruck close to the scrum and then just trying to batter the Springboks physically. It's a style of rugby that is either going to work through breaking down the Springboks through their own style of play, which is a mental win for the Lions, or in this case it's going to draw penalties. Now if we take this phase of Lions attack, playing off middle line out ball, which is further back than they usually do, the ball normally goes to the front, so they get a better option to go out wide. And then I imagine this kick from Dan Biggar was intended to be a lot deeper than it actually was, because at this point the Lions haven't made any advance on the gain line yet so far. Now if we look at the South African defence, at the moment it's been pushed quite wide and the forwards aren't folding around quick enough, which has given Tom Curry this chance to go out wide. But ultimately it's the inaccuracies from the Lions here that have meant the attack falls down. But because they'd managed to stretch the Springboks, they'd forced them to push offside, which gives Dan Biggar that shot at 3. Now I thought the battle between Van der Merwe and Cheslin Kolbe was going to be very interesting, given that they're two very, very different players who are going to be directly at one each other. The strength of Van der Merwe against the footwork of Cheslin Kolbe was going to be very interesting here, but I'm not too sure about this footwork from Van der Merwe, which does correctly earn him a yellow card. Now all rugby players are obviously very competitive, and during this kicking battle, Cheslin Kolbe was not going to get outdone by Van der Merwe, and decides he's just had his legs taken, so he's going to take Conor Murray's from underneath him completely. This was correctly borderline red-yellow. I don't think anyone would have complained if it had gone either way. Following this line-out steal from Itoje, this was the Lions' most promising attack of the first half. So we had a strong carry, which the forwards never really did, and then it's just this tiny fumble from Henshaw that just throws the rhythm of this play off. You feel if that had gone straight to his hands and he'd been able to give a better pass, then there's a good chance the Lions would have made a significant impact there. Now, from a defensive scrum, you'd expect the Springboks to either set up a ruck and box kick or Bollard to hit an up and under from there. But they don't, and they go wide, which is what the Lions are not expecting to do, and they're not defensively set up for that. So the whole back line is immediately drifting with a negative line, and then the kick through puts Stuart Hogg under all sorts of pressure, and he can't get the pass away to Watson, who would have been in a position for a box kick on the other wing because of Faf de Klerk's work rate and the whole backline's work rate to get up and cut off that option. Again, with the Lions attacking around the 22, they're not getting great width on the ball. It's straight off 9, 5 metres from the previous ruck. The sole purpose of this style of play is to win penalties, which they do in this occasion. And interestingly, decide to go for the corner, with a third going for the posts at the drawed point in the game. Now, the line-out didn't function well for the Lions throughout the game, and even though at this point they win a scrum on the 5, you feel they would have preferred attacking ball from a line-out. Now, South Africa get a good push on this scrum, but the Lions just about hold it without going backwards or losing any sort of control. The peel from the back of the scrum was reasonably predictable, and Conor Murray was going early, which is how Faf de Klerk was able to get around to the opposite side of the scrum in time. And then the Lions revert to type, picking and going, maximum one pass off the ruck while Conor Murray was down injured, and then they win advantage again. This leads to the island combination. Here, Conor Murray's chip over the top. Henshaw is very, very close to getting this down, but it's incredible work from the captain, Siya Kolisi here, who ends that play. They go back for the penalty, and a penalty in front of the post isn't one they're going to pass up or go to the corner. Now, in the second half, South Africa came out and executed their game plan they've been playing throughout the Test series so far more proficiently. They kicked as they would be expected to most of the time, and really kicked to compete and put the Lions under a lot of pressure. Now, the scrum was also somewhere South Africa struggled with in the first test, and now in the second test they really upped the physicality in the scrum. Early on in the second half, South Africa looked to continue to exert their physical dominance and set up this maul. Now you can see that the Lions don't have a great defensive position in the maul, which gives the Springboks big go forward here until it spins. Now, South Africa do what they usually do, going across the pitch for the first time, and it's steady. It'll be 2 or 3 phases all the way across. Usually they'll kick back across the pitch, but this time they've gone up on the nearer side, but regained possession and first to the ball. It's the work rate of Leroux, who was winning the ball back from the up and under, to then be second receiver next phase, 30-40 metres away. And it's that sort of work rate throughout the Springbok team. And it's the one pump dummy pass from Pollard, which just brings Anthony Watson an extra metre up in the line, which creates that space behind which he kicks into. They've also created the overlap, which just leaves Watson second guessing about where to defend. Now, with 50 minutes gone and only 2 points behind, this missed penalty from Dan Biggar really was a point in the game where the South Africans really continued to control the game, and the Lions really lost touch. Now, for the second South African try, the forwards really did show just how much more physical they were being than the Lions. See, they set this maul up. They take their time. They don't start pushing immediately. They wait till they get that form and all in a solid position before they start moving. The Lions do a reasonable job of breaking up the maul, but it's got the momentum by the time they do that. And there is always a strong bind keeping them going forward. Now, it's a great finish by but it's all through the work of the perfect kick from Faf de Klerk to find the gap amongst a lot of defending players. The accuracy of the Lions throughout the entirety of the second half really did mean they never got an attack going. So here, front easy line out ball, and Rory Sutherland is thinking about the pass before he has the ball. Let's hit the deck. When Owen Farrell did come on for the second half, he did kick very well for territory. He found the gaps in the South African backfield and managed to turn them, put them under a bit of pressure and find touch. It was more Lions in discipline that gave Handré Pollard the opportunity to go even further ahead with this penalty. It was another scrum penalty where South Africa really were shifting forward. Then this Lions attack was looking like it had some sort of promise. Ali Price was on and had picked up the tempo a bit for the Lions. But here, as the ball comes out to Faletau, you see Sinclair and Owens have both overrun the ball, and Sutherland gets into an ambitious offload position. None of them can get in and effect a clear out on Marks. There was more aerial and physical bombardment than from South Africa, and at this stage the Lions were the team that appeared to be tiring, especially in the forwards, that they just couldn't match the pace or the power of the South African pack, giving away more penalties here. And if you look at the body shape of Rory Sutherland, you see he's been separated away from Ken Owens, a hooker, and that big gap is where the tight heads attacked and caused the breaking of the scrum. And then there's just one final penalty for Handré Pollard to convert it after the 80th minute, with the clock red, and South Africa end up winning 27-9 deservedly.